Welcome to my channel. I'm Scott, and in this video I am going to walk you through the process of valuing Zillow stock by analyzing their financial statements and dissecting their financial ratios so we can determine if it's a buy or a sell. Zillow is a real estate marketplace. It generates revenue from three sources: buying and selling homes, the second is selling advertising space on its platforms, and the third is providing mortgages to homeowners. In the third quarter of this year, it had 227 million unique visitors to its site. That is down from 236 million in the same period last year. It is the most popular real estate website in the US. Trulia is second, which is also owned by Zillow Group. The company announced last week it is shutting down its real estate technology platform after paying too much for homes, and they intend to sell those homes at a loss. Buying and selling homes is very difficult to do using technology at a mass scale. I've always said you need a person to physically go to the home and evaluate it. For many years, companies have tried to buy homes in bulk and resell them, only to fail time and time again. Zillow is the latest company to fail. Zillow did mention it was unable to renovate homes due to worker and supply shortages. Its subsidiaries are Trulia, StreetEasy, HotPads, and Out East. There are two tickers for this company, Z and ZG. The Z ticker does not receive voting rights, while the ZG ticker does. Other than that, they're identical. The company is headquartered in Seattle, Washington. It was founded in 2006. It trades on the Nasdaq, Deutsche Börse, Mexican Bolsa, and Sao Paulo Stock Exchange. Let's get started with the model. This is a large cap company, 17 billion market cap. They're trading at $66 a share, and they have 255 million shares outstanding. Let's look at the financials. The way you value a company is you estimate the free cash flows into the future, and then you discount those numbers back to today's value. That's what we're doing in this video. And free cash flow is cash flow from operations minus capital expenditures. So they have negative free cash flow every year except in 2020. Net income is the profit or loss on the income statement. It's revenue minus expenses, and that's negative every single year. Revenue looks really good. It goes from 1.3 billion way up to 5 billion. This is the company's income statement. The top line is the revenue, the sales. Here's a breakdown of their revenue from their 10K. It shows you 2018, 19, and 20. And homes is the revenue they receive from flipping homes. And that went up a ton from 52 million to 1.7 billion. IMT stands for Internet, Media, and Technology. This is mainly when real estate agents and brokers buy ad space using the company's website and also their marketing services. That goes up steadily from 1.2 billion to 1.45 billion. The third one is mortgages. This is the revenue they receive from selling mortgages to people buying real estate. And that doubles from 80 million to 174 million. So it looks like homes has the most growth, right? We'll talk a little more about this later. Below revenue is the cost of revenue. These are the expenses directly related to generating the revenue. Revenue minus cost of revenue gives you your gross profit. And that grew a lot from 1.2 billion to 1.8 billion. Below that is their operating expenses and then their operating income, which looks pretty good. It was positive in 2020, then negative in the trailing 12 months. The problems with the homes business is the margins are so slim. They generate 1.7 billion of revenue, but the expenses were 1.6 billion. It doesn't leave much room for error. And the big issue is now is there's a labor shortage and a supply shortage. So the company can't afford to renovate the homes, so it has to sell all of them at a loss. And hopefully they can recover from these big losses. Now the advertising business is such high margins, 1.45 billion of revenue, only 100 million of expenses. This is the business that's scalable. Plus the margins are huge. Mortgages is fine as well, 174 million of revenue, 31 million of expenses. They spent $700 million in marketing. Since they're in growth mode, they're trying to get their name out there so more home buyers see them and more real estate agents advertise on their platforms. They spent over $500 million in technology and development. This is for their different apps and websites. 357 million in G&A. This is payroll and rent and other things like that. And $77 million of impairments. So So they paid $164 million of interest on their debt, which is 4 times the amount they paid in 2018. And the bottom line of the income statement is their net income, which is negative every single year. This is the company's statement of cash flows. The top line is operating cash flow. That's how much cash the company loses or generates from its operational business. So it looks like things were looking good in 2020. They generated the most cash flow, $424 million. But then in the trailing 12 months, it was negative $3.3 billion. I'll show you all the details of these numbers in a little bit. They spend a little bit in CapEx, $80 million to $100 million a year. Most of the CapEx charges are to improve their technology. Operating cash flow minus CapEx gives you your free cash flow. And that was positive in 2020, negative in the other years. They've been adding a lot of equity and debt. They added $360 million of stock in 2018, $400 million in 2020, and over $500 million in the trailing 12 months. When a company adds stock, it dilutes the current shareholders and makes your shares less valuable. And they added a lot of debt, nearly $3 billion in the trailing 12 months, $1.7 billion in 2019, $500 million in 2018. They needed all this debt and equity to buy homes. This is the cash flow from operations section in the first 9 months of 2020 versus the first 9 months of 2021. Their net loss was negative $266 million. But the main reason they had such a big negative in operating cash flow was they bought $3.6 billion of inventory. And that's fine to buy a lot of homes, but the problem is they bought it at the worst time. Now there's a fire sale. They're trying to get rid of all these homes and get out of this business. So hopefully it doesn't bankrupt this company. This is the cash flow from investing section for the first 9 months of 2021. They received $1.7 billion of cash from the sale of securities. These are probably short-term investments. Instead of sitting on cash and getting almost no interest, they buy things like treasury bonds or commercial paper and get a small interest rate. Commercial paper is really good because it's a short-term investment. You can do overnight commercial paper because you need the cash to be liquid in case you need the money to acquire another company or to buy homes in this company's case. In the first 9 months, they bought $500 million of investments. They invested $45 million in CapEx, property, plant, and equipment. It looks like they spent $500 million to acquire a company. They acquired ShowingTime. This is a technology platform that serves nearly 1 million real estate agents. And this is the cash flow from financing section for the first 9 months of 2021. So when a company issues new stock or buys back stock or issues new debt or pays down debt, that's all part of cash flow from financing. If you invest in ticker Z, that's Class C. They issued $544 million of Class C. They took a loan for $443 million. They raised $2.6 billion of debt. They paid down $534 million of debt. They paid down $101 million on a credit line. And it looks like they received $98 million from stock options. These are probably warrants. Only a company can issue warrants. Warrants aren't traded in the open market. You could think of warrants as long-dated options that are issued by the company. Of course, most options you buy in the open market expire in less than a year. Warrants can go 2 years, 10 years, 20 years. This is the equity section of their balance sheet. They have $5.8 billion of equity. They raised $7.2 billion from selling their business, and they lost $1.4 billion from running their business. So they definitely have a lot of room. They're not at the point where they're getting close to bankruptcy. There's plenty of cash to work with. We're looking at ticker ZG, which is the Class A common stock. These holders have voting rights. Class C is ticker Z. These holders do not have voting rights. There are lots of companies that have another class that executives get, and this is Class B. Each holder of Class B gets 10 voting rights. This is usually done so the CEO has voting control even though he owns only 5 or 10% of the company's stock. Let's look at the capital structure. They have $5.8 billion of equity, $4.6 billion of debt. They have 55% equity, 45% debt. Their net debt is $1.4 billion, and their WACC is 8.5%. I gave them the lowest WACC on Finbox, which is higher than Simply Wall Street, and that's a discount rate we're going to apply to the future cash flows. We estimated 7 years of future free cash flows. We also estimated terminal value, which is all cash flows past year 7, that's $21 billion. We discounted those numbers back to today using the weighted average cost of capital. We get a value of the company of $10 billion. We divide that by 255 million shares. And we get a calculated stock price of $40. They're trading at $66, so they're trading at a 64% premium. It's a sell according to the model. The average analyst projects their revenue to decrease 26%. Their trailing 12-month revenue is $5 billion, so their 2021 revenue should be around $6 billion. Then I decreased it 26% for the next 2 years. Then at that point, things should stabilize and their revenue should increase. So I increased it 10% for the next 4 years. That's how I got their future revenue estimates. And they're probably going to have a big negative free cash flow in 2021. And once they sell all the homes, that negative should go down a lot. So I figure they'll have positive free cash flow by 2024. To figure out what percent of their revenue they convert to free cash flow, I looked at similar companies, and since they're a fairly high revenue business, at least the ad revenue part of it is, I multiplied their revenue by 15% in 2024 to get their future free cash flows, then 25% after that. But I'm still coming out of the stock price a lot lower than they're trading at. I did a video on this company back in June. The stock was trading at 110. My valuation was 86. So I'm pretty bearish on flipping houses. I mentioned that at the end of my Zillow video, and I explained it in more detail in my open door video. Simply, Wall Street's valuation is $79. They're saying it's 16% undervalued. 16 analysts priced this stock, and the average price target was 95. When the market crashed in March 2020, the stock got really low, down to $25 a share, and then it blew up past $200. Then it came down a lot, and last week it crashed big time when the company said they were going to exit the home flipping business. They have a beta of 1.33, so the stock is a little more volatile than the market. It's gone down 37% in the past 52 weeks, while the S&P is up 32%. The 52-week low was 64, the high is 212, and the stock is trading below its 50-day and 200-day moving average. Nearly 5 million shares have been traded on average the past 10 days. 88% of the shares are held by institutions, and 6% of the shares on float or shorted. Their total employees have been going up a lot the past several years. They're up to 8,000 employees. If you put $10,000 into this company when it started trading in 2015, you'd be at $82,000 today. That's a 40% annual return. That's an amazing return. But just a few months ago, your $10,000 would have been worth $250,000. In the past year, the only insider trading activity were 2 sells back in November 2020. The biggest shareholder is Caledonia, the British company, then Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, Bailey Gifford, and BlackRock. Let's look at their financial ratios. We can't look at the PE since they have negative net income. Their price of sales is pretty good at 3.3, but their revenue is going to come down a lot because more than half their revenue is from the sale of homes. And they have a pretty good price to book at 2.9. They have a high current ratio and quick ratio. They have over $3 billion of cash or short-term investments on their balance sheet, $161 million of accounts receivable, $221 million of mortgage loans, $3.8 billion of inventory. This is the big problem. The $3.8 billion of homes is probably not going to sell for nearly that much money. In the trailing 12 months, they had negative $3.4 billion of free cash flow, but they do have $4.7 billion of working capital. So it looks like they have $1.3 billion of funding. I think it's pretty likely they're going to add a lot of debt or dilute the shareholders because they're going to need some extra funds to get through this crisis. The best way to look at ratios to compare them to companies in the same industry, I've done videos of 19 companies in the same industry as ZG, and we can't look at their PE. Their price of sales and price to book are a lot better than average. They have a good current ratio, a negative ROE, the average in the industry is negative, and they're high in debt, higher than the average. And their market cap is much smaller than the average because there's some really big companies in this industry, and of course they don't pay a dividend. So to summarize, I have them trading at a 64% premium, but I could see this stock coming down a lot more because I think the company's in for a lot of difficult times. Because I think lots of investors are going to lose faith in this company and drive the price lower. But they do have a ton of people visiting their platform, which is a really valuable asset that they can monetize. So I don't think they're going to go bankrupt, but I think you can wait a few months or maybe a year till it hits bottom. I rank their free cash flows 1 out of 10, their revenue 8 out of 10, and their ratio is 5 out of 10. So let me know what you think. Give this video a like, subscribe, or comment below. Also, if you'd like to get a custom valuation or just support the channel, you can become a member by clicking on the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.